Last week, something happened to me. I was having dinner with my girlfriend. She suddenly noticed that I was just endlessly scrolling my phone. To the point I even didn't listen to her anymore. I was so absorbed in scrolling my phone that she got angry, and of course it escalated in a little fight. I have ADHD myself. The problem with that is that those digital environments like your phone scrolling, social media, scrolling Reddit in my example, I love Reddit. But the thing is, it can be very toxic because my social life gets completely locked out. Especially in those situations, what I really want is connection with my girlfriend. And in that moment, it's like a wall, you know? So my girlfriend many times points me out, just let your phone aside. The thing is, I find it very hard to not be distracted by this. And some people call it, it's just the lack of willpower. If you have ADHD, you maybe know that this isn't the case. I think in this society where we live in, our brain gets constantly overstimulated. And the thing is, attention nowadays is kind of a currency. The big corporate tech giants like Facebook, like Instagram, whatever, they try to farm your attention. This is what it's about. And they're gonna do everything also to get your attention. The attention that we have now is just shortened and shortened and shortened. So we live in an ADHD-induced society, in my opinion. We can even question ourselves if ADHD is a symptom of what we see in the outer world. We see a huge increase in the ADHD numbers around the world. And then I question myself, like, maybe it's not about us. Maybe this is not even in disorder to begin with. Maybe it's just a disorder that we are seeing in the world. And honestly, I think our brains were never made to get so much information at once. There's a man that 2,300 years ago figured kind of a cure to that problem. His answer is actually the opposite what you would expect. Maybe you know his name. He is called Epicurus. Epicurus was a Greek philosopher, and a lot of people assume that the Epicurean lifestyle or the philosophy is linked to indulgence, almost a very hedonistic view of the world, like only looking for pleasure, and pleasure is the highest good in life. This couldn't be further from the truth as it is. He was more about slowing down, retreating from all the political madness we see around us, closing us off from the outside, noisy and busy world where we live in. So he was actually trying to strip everything away what's make you restless. And there are two core ideas. You have ataraxia, and this is the absence of mental disturbance. And you have aponia. This is the absence of physical pain. Those are the core beliefs of which this philosophy is built around. And that's it. No ambition, no self-growth plan, just remove all the noise around us. For me, I have a lot of interests, and I have some interest in political views and discussions and this kind of philosophies about that. And I noticed that I could get caught in those webs of politics. It made me kind of not anxious, but restless. It made me feel there is always something to fight for, there is always something to solve. This wasn't really helping me in my personal life. It was people that I actually didn't care about, I didn't relate to in any way, that I feel emotionally connected to through their political views, which in my case was kind of toxic if I think about it and I say it out loud now. I actually I shouldn't care about that, because the only thing I should care about is my community, my closest people around me. And then when I'm scrolling my phone on Reddit to view political beliefs about someone else and I'm ignoring my girlfriend, this sounds very harsh. Like, for me, this was really a wake-up call that, like, what the fuck, what am I doing here? So I don't know what this could mean for you, which mental disturbances around you have and you are confronted with. You can always let me know that down in the comments. But there is more to the Epicurean lifestyle. There is kind of a framework you can use that really helped me to reduce my mental clutter. So Epicurus divided the necessities and basic needs into 3 different categories. You have the natural and necessary. This is, for example, food, shelter, sleep, movement, physical activity in general. I also noticed when I got too absorbed into social media, into Reddit in my case, I could really scroll for hours, which I'm not proud of. I could also game 8 hours straight without noticing I was actually thirsty or I was hungry. Then you have also category 2. This is the natural and unnecessary. This can include impulsive buying, scrolling, ordering food. This is a basic necessity, but ordering it and not making it yourself, this is a choice. In many cases, I can find myself overwhelmed by cooking even. And then you have the last category, and this is unnatural and unnecessary. Things like power, wealth, status. For example, being available for everyone at all times, or keeping up with what everyone else around you is doing. Never question yourself, what would I like to do? I thought I was invincible in that and that I don't need status. And then I noticed something in myself that is actually very true. And this is FOMO, like the fear of missing out on stuff. I really like to go to dance festivals, especially trance. With those festivals, it's very nice to be around people, to dance. But most of the time, I also felt that if I didn't go to the festivals or parties, I was missing out. It didn't came from the urge to dance or the urge to connect with people. And now I try to take a step back and feel in myself, do I feel like dancing? And if the answer is yes, of course, I will go. But it's very tricky because sometimes this fear of missing out comes up again. And then it's like, out of fear, I'm going. This, in my opinion, is not the right way. Also, my expectations are much higher when I go out of fear of missing out. Then I would just go like, oh, I want to enjoy myself and I want to dance. What Epicurus did, and that was to withdraw himself from society. He made himself a quiet garden that he could rely on with friends. Now, this is maybe a bit difficult in our situation, in our lifestyle, what we have nowadays. There are, though, people living in communities and withdraw themselves literally from society. But for me, this is not really what I want from life. So I made something that is more tangible for me, which is my quiet place, my Zen garden, whatever you want to call it. You need a place to decompress. You need a place that feels safe for you, and you need a place where you can come at peace. For me, this is the garden. I have the luck that we have a beautiful garden. We rent a small house in the back of someone's garden, and the garden is part of our living space. We are very lucky that we can have that, and this is kind of my resting space. I go to my garden and I sit there, I contemplate about life. So if you have a place you can withdraw to, make sure that it's not a place that overstimulates you again. Because for some people I know, they say, yeah, but I'm really enjoying the gaming on my computer, and that's my safe space, and this is where I really decompress. But in reality, you don't really decompress, I think. And then you can also do that with a digital garden, for example. You can make a digital space where you're not that distracted from social media. For example, I made a map of social media and put all my social media apps in that map, and I put it in my third screen. So not my home screen, it would be too distracting. When I open my home screen, it's quite very clean and not too messy. I tried to make it as difficult as it can get to go to my social media apps. This is a little improvement you can make yourself. I tried also to restrict myself from those apps, but for me this didn't really work, because then I would delete the app and then suddenly I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reinstall the app, and then I go crazy on it. Then it's like an addiction that is rebounding and I go crazy on the app. So this doesn't work for me. Also, try to restrict your social environment. You can have a lot of friends, a lot of social connections, but try to limit that. Maybe you have a small group of friends. Try to stick with those friends and build up deep relationships with them, because I think that's where you get your energy out of.
But make like I'm not here.
Okay. So in the end, Epicurus didn't really want us to do more, make more lists or whatever. He just wanted us to slow down. He wanted to create a more quiet space for ourselves. Basically, he asks us to stop with doing the stuff that makes us less. If this stirred something in you and maybe you want to reduce the stresses of life, let me know in the comments. If there is one thing you could remove from your life, what would it be? I'm very interested in that. I'm still in this progress myself. So I'm also not the guru that knows it all. And I'm just curious, what is one thing you would like to remove from your life right now? Thank you for watching this video.